I have this against you, that you have abandoned the love you had at first. Remember therefore from where you have fallen, repent, and do the works you did at first. If not, I will come to you and remove your lampstand from its place, unless you repent. It is November 14th and time for the reading of our devotional thought for today, and I'm reading from the devotional book Truth for Life, 365 Daily Devotions by Pastor Alistair Begg. Today's devotion is entitled Rekindling Lost Love. That's Rekindling Lost Love. And our verses today, Revelation chapter 2, verses 4 and 5. And it reads, I have this against you, that you have abandoned the love you had at first. Remember therefore from where you have fallen, repent, and do the works you did at first. If not, I will come to you and remove your lampstand from its place, unless you repent. That's Revelation chapter 2, verses 4 and 5. Pastor Alistair Begg writes, It's tragic to see a marriage in which the spouses have grown cold towards each other. Though they're still together, loneliness and isolation abounds. There's a rigid, lifeless formality to it, seen in their eyes and understood in their expressions. The vibrancy and the fresh discoveries that mark their earlier love are missing, having slipped away with the passing years. The Ephesians church was a task-oriented, tough-minded, truth-telling fellowship, and for this they were commended, Revelation chapter 2, verses 2 and 3. But in his words to them, Jesus revealed their Achilles' heel. Though they were seeking to hold fast to the truth, they had abandoned love. One commentator writes, If the price paid by the Ephesians for the perseverance of true Christianity was the loss of love, the price was too high, for Christianity without love is a perverted faith. Was it that they had lost their love for Christ, for each other, for the unbelieving community around them? It isn't necessary to choose between these options, for when love for Christ is not as it should be, then our love for all else will be affected. For those of us who are committed to doctrinal faithfulness, here is a challenging reminder that the ultimate measure of a church is found not in its programs, achievements, reputation, or doctrinal orthodoxy, but in its love. Christianity, as the Puritan Thomas Chalmers eloquently puts it, the elusive power of a new affection, about falling in love with Christ, about a sense of immensity of his pursuing, energizing, loving grace. If that love for Jesus begins to wane, we will begin to look a lot like the church in Ephesus, impressive from the outside, but internally loveless. And Jesus warns us that this is no small matter. Removing the Ephesian church's lampstand means removing his recognition of them as a church, his recognition of them as his church, his people. A loveless church is, in truth, not a church at all. Perhaps you realize that you do not love God the way you once did. This can creep up on us so easily, our eyes growing dry, our prayers growing cold. What can we do? Jesus says the remedy for lost love is, first, to remember. We need to recall what it was about that Jesus caused us to love him in the first place, and then use that as a spur for forward momentum. We need to restore our commitment to the things we did at first, which typically means going back to the basics. In short, we need to look again at Jesus, lifting our eyes from what we do, our programs, our efforts, our ministries, to the beauty and love of the one who died for us and who dwells in us. Love is rekindled by looking at that which is lovely. So, if your love has grown cold, Gaze at Jesus as He reveals Himself to you in His Word, and joy and fervency will surely return. Good practical recommendations. If your heart's temperature towards the love of Christ have waned, the advice here is to get it rekindled today. And you do that by getting back looking at Jesus. Not just looking, but gazing. Spending time gazing at Him in the Word. It surely will rekindle that flame that was once blazing. And may the Spirit of God blaze that flame of love for Him once again in your heart and out of your heart, that it would really speak loudly of who Jesus is in truth. Well, that concludes our devotional thought for this 14th day of November. Those of you reading through the scriptures in a year, your assignment today is 1 Chronicles chapter 10, 11 and 12, as well as the Gospel of Luke, chapter 1, verses 39 through 56. Clive Walsh here. May the Lord richly bless you.